Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a thrifted transformation video on this two-piece sequin outfit that I wore for my birthday. I was actually really blessed to have found a slightly oversized dress in my local thrift store, and that's what I ended up transforming into this two-piece sequin outfit, because the one I wanted to buy, the exact same thing, was just really expensive. So I'm glad I found one that I could transform. I'm going to be showing you how to do that today. So the first thing I did was to measure how long I wanted the skirt to be. I am working from the bottom up. Since the bottom of the dress itself was already professionally hemmed, I didn't want to mess with it. I'd rather not mess with the hem. So for me, I wanted the skirt to be 38 inches. That was the magic number. But I am cutting the long piece, the bottom piece, to be about 39 inches, just so I can make room for allowance for the waistline. So once that line is marked and you know how long you want your skirt to be, I'm just going to cut off the skirt piece, and now we have two pieces, the top and the bottom piece. For the rest of this tutorial, the materials that we're going to be using are scissors. I'm going to be using some matching thread, a seam ripper, pins, some elastic, and measuring tape. And also, I didn't put this here, but you're also going to be using a curved ruler. So I'm starting with the top part. The first step to getting this top to be what we want is to remove the rest of the bottom piece and the zipper, the part that didn't go with the skirt. As you know, in life, you won't be great until you cut off all dead weight. So we just have to make sure that this top gets the best chance at being the best that she can be, you know? So I'm using the seam ripper to do this gently. So it took a lot of time. I won't even lie. It took a lot of time. It took me about 2 hours because this is sequin fabric and the top deserves some tender loving care. So once we're done removing all the unwanted parts, we can move on to better things. And because of all the parts that we removed, all the seams of the top are open at the bottom and where the zipper used to be. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sew all the seams closed by pinning them together and sewing them very close to the hem. I'm going to try to show you in detail. So you just want to fold it in. Fold both pieces in, the lining and the main fabric, fold them in facing each other, and then pin, and then sew over what you've pinned. Sew as close to the hem as possible. So I did this to the bottom of the top and to the back openings where the zipper used to be. And after doing that, this is what we're left with. So now we have to go ahead and finish the top. And to do that, I'll be adding 2 pairs of hooks and eyes to the top and the bottom part of the back opening. This is the hook and eye that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to use like a basic hand stitch. You're just going to take a needle and thread and just attach a pair hook and eye to the top and another one at the bottom. And once that is done, the top is ready and we can move on to the skirt. So for the skirt, all I really had to do was to adjust it at the waist and the hip to make it my size. So for this, of course, we need to take waist and hip measurements. So my hip measurement is 38 inches and my waist measurement is 28 inches. So what you're going to do in order to work on your skirt is to take both measurements and divide them by 4, which means my new waist measurement is 7 inches when you divide it by 4, and hip divided by 4, 38 inches, is 9.5 inches. So now I'm taking my main skirt piece and I'm folding it in half, which means the skirt is actually in 4 parts, if you can see that, if that makes sense. Then I'm just going to go ahead and mark a quarter of my waist measurement, which is 7 inches. And then from that point, that waistline, go down by 8 inches. That's how you get your hip line. So for me, luckily, the skirt itself is already as wide as my hip measurement. So I'm just going to connect the hip line to the waistline. I'm going to be using a hip curve or a curved ruler, or you can use like a French curve to do that if you want. So I'm using that to create the shape that I want. And then the next step is to pin the mark points and just sew those side seams together. After sewing the side seams together, I'm just cutting away the extra fabric on the sides. Now I'm just going to repeat the exact same step on the lining fabric as well. I should add that you should be very careful when sewing with sequin fabric, and if you want to know the best way to cut and sew and handle sequin fabric, I'll leave a link here in this video. Just look for it somewhere up here and in the description box. So now that the skirt has been adjusted to fit properly, the next step is to add the elastic to the waistline so that it sits properly on the waist. So take your elastic and cut a strip that is 1 inch smaller than your actual waist measurement. So for me, since my waist measurement is 28 inches, the length of my elastic would be 27 inches. Then take that strip and sew the elastic in an overlapping zigzag stitch, so that to make a band that goes around. And now it's time to join all the pieces together. So to join the lining, the skirt, and the elastic all together, align the main skirt and the lining at the waist, and now I'm just pinning them at 4 corners: at the front, the back, the left, and the right. So once we've done that, you can take the elastic band and just put it on top of the skirts that you've already aligned. And align the elastic at the same 4 corners, pinning all the 3 pieces together. So once you've pinned all of that together, it's time to just sew all of it around. And you have to do that using a zigzag stitch because you want to make sure the elastic maintains its stretch. As you're sewing, also make sure to stretch the elastic to fit the skirt waist as you go, as you're doing the zigzag stitch. And once that is done, the skirt is basically ready. Just fold the elastic over and we are good to go. The outfit is ready. So this is how it turned out. Let me know what you think of this tutorial in the comment section, and thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, bye.